Okay, we're recording. Greetings, everybody. Today is the 20th of January 2019, and we have our monthly update session here in TeamSpeak with all the points of contact. Does everybody have the agenda open?
Yep.
Because I seem to see more people in the channel than is on the document, but anyway. Okay, so we're going to start with the news from this month, and it's Dean from Canada who's the first one on the list with something to tell us.
Hi guys. TVP Support Canada Facebook group is fairly active, and activity has been increasing. I'm getting to know more local people in my area, like within a, I guess, 400 kilometer radius, that are TVP supporters. So that's good. A couple of them actually live fairly close, so we'll be trying to get up and get to meet with them shortly, probably in the spring. And other than that, I gave some books away on Facebook. Now I have to send them all out once I've got them, but some of the best that I can't buy, so I'll give 4 of those away. And other than that, that's about it for me.
Okay, well, that's very exciting that you said it very calmly, but it's very exciting that you're finding people close to you who also support TVP. It's very exciting. You know, you may have an embryonic team there. Who knows, you know? So look forward to hearing more about that. Jacob, in the Czech Republic, let's listen to, you've got a lot of things to tell us about.
Hello everyone, I have the same description like on December's POC meeting agenda, but Sue wasn't here, so I will repeat it because I don't know if Sue and others also maybe hear it. So I was attending several conferences to gather the information from the experts from several fields. The name of the organizers of the conferences are Top Expo team. They are making like 30 conferences per year. The same will be this year, and we are talking with them if they will give us some space to give them the idea about the resource-based economic and the Venus project and the things we are doing. So hopefully we will have some space there. Also, we had our third conference, international, we call it, with our Slovakia team. This was going quite well. We had one person there which gave us his time, and he offered us that he would help us. So we hope that we will have another team, because I have one team in Pilsen. We are working on community to prepare some space for people which has the same idea like we have regarding the Venus project. We would like to live the idea, also start small, to put some people together and share the ideas, show other people that this kind of living is really good idea to go for future. So this is more or less quite everything. We are still preparing some materials, some discussions in Czech language to bring the Venus project close to the Czech people, because not a lot of them is speaking in English. So we are preparing the videos on YouTube to share the idea. So this is quite a bit from me.
That's nice. You're doing a lot of translations then of the TVP videos.
Yes, also this is the Slovakia team, so we are making these. We will also share it in our TVP Facebook page, but I'm now preparing one girl from my team, and she will be taking care about the social media, because I really don't have much time for that. Also not the right feeling when to put the comments and the content on it.
Okay, nice. All right. That's good. And can I just ask, are you updating the Linguistic Team Forum with all these things that you're translating? Are you working on the Linguistic Team Forum?
No, not me. I really need one person who will be attending there.
Okay, all right.
Who is that person? Or better yet, can you ask them to get directly in touch with me so that I can make sure that all the work that you guys are doing gets integrated into the global distribution system for all of these materials in both languages? I'm assuming that the translations are being done in both Czech as well as Slovenian.
Okay, I will try to give him, because this is the guy from Slovakia team, so I will try to join him with you, that he will be in touch with you.
Okay, great. It's very important that these materials, the translated materials, get into the global distribution system because we can reach much further than any one local team can reach. You know, we want to make sure that people who speak Slovakian, or I'm sorry, who speak Czech, who speak Slovenian, all around the world have access to these materials, not just those who, stumble upon, your team's resources. So yes, it's very important that we do this at the global scale. And
Okay,
it's great to
agreed.
hear what you guys are up to. Very, very, very exciting.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a nice
Thank you.
idea to go to all these other conferences because you learn so much, Okay, Germany has notes, but nobody's here to read it out, so I will read it. They had a meeting on the unscientificness of homeopathy and herbal medicine, mostly considering how they are supposed to work and what the scientific method can tell us about the actual workings of those two. So that's quite interesting, scientific method and homeopathy.
I'd like to add a little bit to that.
Sure.
Because I'm in touch with them through Tim, who is the LTI coordinator for the German team. So he's working, with them on the translations and stuff that they need. And he mentioned to me that what they're trying to do is connect with experts in various fields, and then invite them to come in and do basically to be like a keynote speaker, if you will, in these meetings that they're having. It's an interesting idea because they get to pick the brains of people who are deeply embedded in those fields and attempting to make significant change.
Oh no, this is really interesting. Very nice idea. Yeah, more of us could try that perhaps. Okay, the Greeks aren't here. Tassos has a meeting tonight with his people there, so I'll read it out as well. Pangaea has a new home where we have very interested meetings with new supporters who are interested to work with us on the Venus Project's direction. The first meeting took place on the 13th of December, and the second will take place on the 20th of the 1st, which is today. We have a lot of new plans, so these meetings are very important for our next steps. We are also in a very important process trying to bring together all those people who work separately for Venus Project's direction in smaller groups through internet or other organisations. Okay, well, as Tassos is in Greece, he probably won't be able to make next month's meeting, but the following month, maybe he'll be able to come and tell us a bit more about what's going on, because they did have quite a good organisation, and then with the crisis, it all fell apart. So they're rebuilding.
Sue, you were in direct contact with Tassos, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. My question here is the wording of the first sentence. They have a new home. Are they referring to a new physical home? Like, I know they're into like having offices and that kind of thing.
Yes, they have a new office.
Okay. Like, I mean, having a new home could mean, we created a website, or we created a new group in Facebook. I just wanted to be clear on it.
Okay, good point to clarify that. Okay, next is Freddie, who says no TeamSpeak. Does that mean he's not got TeamSpeak installed? Okay, He's improving the activity on social media, on Facebook, and there's image translations in progress. And he's also recruiting people to the linguistic team. And he's preparing first online meeting with supporters. So that's nice. That's good news as well. So there's people doing stuff. We've got Alex here from Israel. Alex, go ahead and tell us the news from Israel.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, so we worked really hard recently on an interview with the music band called Orphanland. So like we recorded and edited and even like organized a hackathon of supporters of the project to translate the interview into different languages. And yeah, so we will we plan to publish it hopefully on Friday. So we think it can bring a lot of fresh traffic to TVP both in Israel and also on other pages and the global page. So it's pretty exciting. That music band really likes the project and support it, and there's a really interesting conversation. So I think we'll publish it once it gets approved. We'll publish it here in the we published on Skype, and then you can get a premiere of it in advance.
All right.
Alex, I checked out this band. I saw you mention it earlier, so I went and checked it out. I'm going to be launching. Hey, Pageman, your microphone keeps going off. Thank you, sir. Anyway, I'm going to be launching what I'm calling the LTI member portal, which is basically a consolidation of all of the information and direction and a lot of extras, if you will, surrounding the linguistic team. One of the sections of this, I have a whole media section, which I'm eventually going to try to develop into a kind of, well, I don't know, like a public course on, here are the things that are going wrong, here are the things that we're doing to try to fix all of that, and come join us, and etc. But in any case, there's going to be a separate section called Artistic Spotlight, where I'm highlighting artists of all kinds, sculptists, painters, musicians, bands, et cetera, that that are in support of the RBE direction. And so I was thinking, if they have something published publicly, in English preferably, that they would like to promote in that kind of an area, a lot of people are going to get to see it. So maybe give that some thought, or get together with them and see if there's something that they would like to donate, if you will, to this section, so that other, so that TVP supporters from around the world will be introduced to their band and their connection to what we're doing.
Cool. So you mean some wording about them and about the fact that they support the project that we can put on the page that you're building?
Well, the primary point of this artistic spotlight is to actually showcase, say, a video, since they're a band. Maybe they have a one of their songs that is RBE focused to some degree, that they would like to put out and have other people see. But yes, there is an area to actually give a description of the band, something short and sweet, where people can learn more about the band, etc., that kind of thing, or the things that they're doing activism-wise, if that's an appropriate way to phrase it, what they're trying to accomplish, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, sure.
Provided it's RBE related.
Yeah, we can do it. Like in the latest album, so one of the songs they actually put at the beginning the heartbeats of Jacques. So they talk about it in an interview. So once we release it, you can learn about it.
Yeah, something like that would be good. And even if you're saying that's a separate interview where they also talk about Jacques or TVP, maybe they could, make a snippet of that, a small snippet, put it up in YouTube, and pass us the link to that, and I'll make that link available separately in the text area. So we'll have the song as the big video on that page, and then in the text area, that'll be one of the things that they can go and check out too.
Yeah, sure, we can do it. Like the entire interview that we did was focused on talked about all the TVP and stuff. It was mostly about that.
Okay. Great. No snippet needed then. A link to the whole interview if it's public.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I listened to the interview. Well, I watched it. It's very interesting actually, and coming from this really, because just lately more and more people seem to be offering videos that they've made to TVP, but ideally people need to work with the global team to at least know the guidelines, the steps to take, the procedures and so on, and of course the quality that the Venus project is looking to achieve with all these things. So there's going to be a more specific procedural document prepared for presenting material that supporters have made, because it's not just videos, there's images as well. People send in sketches that they've done, or maybe some design that they've done, and some of them are quite good and some of them are really quite, you can see they've been done with a lot of love and care and what have you, but they're not at all what TVP needs. So they as this need is arising, they're going to be looking to create procedural systems for this as well. So if you have any of your supporters that's offering videos, I know there's a guy in Norway that offers videos a lot, Dan Sanding something or other. He's been traveling around and making videos of his travels and so on. And they all want to share this stuff, but some of it isn't relevant. There might be lovely videos, but we can't go sharing everything on the global page. And then it's like, well, they did his, why aren't they doing mine? So it's, so we just need a little bit of patience with these things. Fede from Italy is here with us. Hi, Fede, but he's not got any updates. So the next person with updates is Isai in Mexico. Go ahead, Isai.
Hi, everyone. So I got nothing for you, at least for what's happening on Mexico. The only thing I wrote in is that I started doing since December. Well, not really actually. It's just this January. I think that's the name. Sometimes I forget the names of the months. This month anyway. I started doing discussion groups with people in Mexico, people that I know already, people who have known over the course of this last year, 2018. And they are focused on just promoting education, like self-education. Like, I'm not the teacher, but it's to help us understand more about the Venus project. So I made a list of topics for conflict resolution and questions on participation and the transition and other topics about human behavior, mainly lectures from Jack that I plan to go through over the year, like this year, as much as I can. And so far, I've only been doing it 2 times, like last week, this week, and the last one, I think. And they seem to be going fine. So that's the only news I have. I've been less and less active on a local level here in the country where I'm from. There's a lot of things that need to be done, but I've not been able to do them. And to be honest, well, part of that is because I'm working very hard with Sue to have a very good quality presentation that she's going to give for a TEDx talk in Sweden, like in just like next week, I think, or this week, I don't know, like Friday, I think. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Isai. Yes, it's Friday next week. I love hearing about the discussion groups when people organise a discussion group. It's so nice. Hi, Julio. Okay, next one is from Russia. There's no updates except to say that the YouTube channel reached 300,000 subscribers. Wow. And they've given a link there in the agenda. Bolalang, are you still with us? Bolalang, say hello to us.
Hi everybody. Yes, as you can see, no updates for me. It's just the stats, just numbers. That's it.
Okay, but it's nice to hear your voice. All right, so Spain, so that's me. So we're still working with the Spanish speakers social media team and experimenting with different procedures and how we put things on the spreadsheet and keep a list of what we've posted and when and so on. And programming, I found the scheduling the posts, you can, for those that don't know, you can both schedule on pages and on groups now. It's a different system on each one, but it does save a hell of a lot of time to get things sorted out, and then you can forget it for the rest of the month and concentrate on answering people that have asked a question on Facebook or started a comment thing on Facebook. And yes, this coming Friday on the 26th, I'm giving a TEDx talk in Lund, Sweden, which is just 30 minutes from Copenhagen. So I'll actually be flying to Copenhagen and then crossing over into Sweden with a train. And I've been fortunate to have 5 or 6 people who are helping me. Esai is one of them, to make the images for the presentation, for the PowerPoint, because TEDx is very strict on copyright material. You can't use anything that's copyrighted. You've got to, and if it's open source, you've got to double check and triple check that it is open and what have you. So I've made a team of people who've been working with me for over a month now, and they're coming up with some wonderful images. Isai has done some, you'll see them eventually, some great ones that are sort of like a cartoon, semi-manga style, the big eyes and what have you. And they really go very well with the topic of what I'm talking about with the picture. Kyla's also helped with some images as well. Kyla is sitting at the bottom there, Kay Dane. Kyla is one of the candidates in the sessions I'm doing on Sundays. And he's helped as well a lot. So it's been wonderful. And the young lady that's helping, Lena, she said that she's enjoyed it. I shouldn't brag, but I'm going to. She's enjoyed it more than working with the global team. So that made me feel happy. There's been a suggestion that it might be live streamed, but there's no guarantee. So I think until I get there, I probably won't know if it will be live streamed or not. So, okay. Moving on, Sweden. Who's going to give the talk? Is it going to be?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. I was supposed to go to the TEDx Lund with you, Sue, but as you know,
I'm sorry,
we had a hard time
second.
getting the seats, so
Yeah.
only 1 out of 4 got it, and I wasn't one of them, so I couldn't go. They were very, very strict on that too.
Yeah, I asked and I said, these guys, they want to come from Stockholm and they're really good TVP supporters. And I even said, how much would it be? Because they said about sponsoring. And I said, well, how much would it be to sponsor? And then you get tickets. But that's also full. So that's such a shame. It really sucks that we won't be able to meet.
Yeah, and also one of the guys, he got the ticket, but it was for the room beside the real lecture room, because you have 100 people in your real lecture, right? And then 100 people with a big screen live, right?
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, my goodness.
That's how it works. It's strange. I think they should at least be able to get a couple of 100 in Lund, but I haven't been to the university, so I'm not sure.
Well, I think TEDx puts a limit on how many people they can have. But anyway, it really sucks that we can't meet.
Yeah, talk about strict. Other than that, we've been having meetups, me and Payman. Mainly Payman, he always takes one or a couple of topics, like a main topic, and talks from there. And we help each other out to answer different questions. So we've been doing a lot like that, and actually when Bolang took the numbers out, I was thinking maybe I should do the same. When it comes to the Swedish TVP support page, we've been having, I think, around 1090 likes for about 3 years now. So it's been going up and down, and that's even though I've been posting regularly for a couple of years now. So Sweden is not the strongest country for getting things done unless it's money in it. So that's a problem.
Interesting that you've noted that with Facebook. I'm just starting to look at the data that's coming through for the Spanish speakers Facebooks that we're managing, and there's some that are really doing very well, and others that are kind of like just rolling along, not very active at all. Okay, who's next on the? Oh, sorry, did you finish?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's enough. Unless Payman had something I could check.
Payman's probably got the baby there and can't speak.
Yeah, he had some troubles with his microphone, so I'm doing it all. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna have instead of going to Lund, I'm gonna have a meet and greet for a couple of people in my apartment. I don't have a super big apartment, so I'm gonna pick the core gang or the most interested people at this point, and I'm gonna try and get both Tor and Payman there. So I'm gonna have like a small presentation of how I got involved with TVP and yeah, some background about TVP and other things.
Oh, what a nice idea.
Yeah, so I'm still waiting for the real live stream, like literally the live stream that can go all the way to Stockholm.
Yeah, I was going to say take photos, but then I remembered that when I was in Germany and I met with Dimitri and Christian, I totally forgot. I have one photo of that day, and I'm not even on it. Is when they're eating. So take photos, please do take photos. I promise I will take some in Sweden.
I'll try to remember.
Okay, right. Irina from Taiwan has no updates. Genghis from Turkey.
Hello, everyone. Well, let me first say sorry about being absent from some meetings lately. Life has been busy a little bit for me, but now I'm back on track again. I managed to arrange with this guy who has a very nice voice, which is working. We are working together in this academy where I'm teaching. I have a new portable recording device with a great sounding microphone, and I'm able now to record every week when I see this guy to record this text that I wrote for updating a documentary in Turkish about TVP. I mentioned this documentary some months ago. Maybe you don't remember. A guy did this documentary all by himself. I watched it. Images were very good, but the sound recording and the information given in the documentary was very outdated, if not wrong at places. So I updated the text, added more relevant and updated information, and now that has started being recorded by a guy with a very nice voice. Hopefully when I finish I can pass that to this guy Serkan, and he said he can put it under his documentary and edit the duration of the images accordingly. So hopefully we have a new documentary about TVP, all in Turkish, which is, I think, very much needed, since Turkish people are not used to read the subtitles. And they are, all the movies are dubbed in Turkish, so that's kind of cultural habit. People mostly watch things which are dubbed in Turkish, and they have a little bit harder time to read while they are watching. So I think this will be effective, more effective. And other than that, I've been working with this choir for a while now. I think it's been past 1 year. Many new people, also new people are still joining in. I get to know lots of new youngsters, and little by little I'm preparing the stage so I can talk with them about new concepts, RP concepts, more deeply. That's about it for me.
That was very interesting. I remember you talking about the documentary thing and correcting it and translating. That was some time ago. It's nice to see that it's coming through, because sometimes these projects, when they take a long time, they kind of like fizzle out and you never see them again. So it's really good that it is continuing. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, is Kesh here or Josh from... Kesh was here. Has he had to leave? Okay. Kesh wrote, learning more about how to prepare for events. Sometimes the variables don't allow for facilitating a quality experience for our guests, and choosing to postpone a gathering would be an advantage, like the one I had to this month. Sasha and I established a rotating of the responsibility to lead the weekly discussion groups. I'm stoked to dive deep with anyone looking to do the same. The trip to the research centre has been finalised this month. Excited with no explanation to work alongside my fellow POCs in Venus and get as deep as possible, and of course surface to breathe for sure. Oh, I wish I could be there. It's going to be wonderful. Sorry, Ray, I interrupted you.
Oh, I interrupted you. You just said the man sure has a way with words.
Absolutely. Okay, the last comment on the agenda in the monthly update session is from Massachusetts, and they haven't got anything to share from their end. Okay, so has anybody else come in that wants to say anything about updating stuff they might have done this month?
I have no updates from New York, except that I'm also looking forward to going to the Venus trip this year, February 8th to the 14th. And it has been finalized. We, as a group, collectively managed to organize everything successfully at a reasonably low cost, if I may add. We have a 12-passenger van, and it's 11 people going, one extra seat for a last-minute person that may be interested, and it came out to less than about $58 per person round trip, just for the van alone, and that may even include some tolls. So we did good there. Saved a lot of money. It was cost effective, and of course, the more that go, the cheaper it is. And we're looking forward to go down there. We're going to do some, there's a big to-do list down there that Luke and Roxanne have prepared, and we're going to go down there and contribute hands-on. As far as New York itself, we have no immediate updates other than I have a couple of new members in the New York group that I welcomed, and a couple of possibly people that may be interested in becoming a POC as well, that will send Sue an email as soon as they, I guess, decide that they want to be serious. Okay, and that's all, and hello to everyone.
Okay, Julio. Who's going to make your spaghetti bolognese down at Venus? And garlic mayonnaise? Okay. Okay, so let's pass on to the topics for everybody. I've got two that I'd like to bring up. Then there's two from Dean and one from Bobby. Mine are quite brief, I think. The new tools for the POC discussions are ongoing. If you've been paying attention to the Skype chat and to the Facebook, you'll have seen that we've been talking about different platforms that we might find more useful, more functional as points of contact. The new Skype is screwing everything up. I hate the new Skype. Old Skype was all right. So there's a new platform, Slack, that we were trying out that was quite interesting. It has lots of things like being able to store files and stuff. So please, if you haven't seen it, look it up. Do a search in the Skype chat or look on the Facebook group and have a look at what we're doing and give some feedback. Okay, we really would like to do that. Get people involved in saying what they need. All right. And then the second note I want to bring up is that just to give you an update on the orientation process, we're down to 5 from the original 9 that started, but there's a really good atmosphere. And there's a strong attempt on the part of the candidates to be a team and stay connected. They're really trying, I think I've said this before, when we have a bathroom break, they don't go for a bathroom break, they stay and they chat. And sometimes I've closed the Hangout down and gone, and then a couple of hours later, they're still talking. So there's a really nice atmosphere, and I hope that they manage to keep that when they become full POCs, they don't drift apart. Oh, sorry, is my microphone really being a pain?
It's fine for me.
It's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't hearing cutting in and out. Sounded fine to me.
Okay, all right. So yeah, we're up to the first rehash session, which due to me not being, I will be coming back next Sunday, which is when we do the orientation process hangouts, but I'm coming back too late, so we've got to cancel next week's. We're up to the first rehash session, and we've introduced two new lectures in. One was optimum tools, and the other one is conflict resolution and procedural systems. And they've been brought in, especially optimum tools, because so many people have commented lately, both amongst the POCs and the candidates, that they're finding a huge difference in what it's like to be online with TVP people and what it's like to be offline in the real world. And so optimum tools gives us a really good helping hand understanding why that is, you know. Why do we behave one way online and one way offline sometimes? So it's an experiment because they've all said it was very much deeper than the material that they've done so far. So by the way, if anybody else is experiencing that, I recommend that you listen to Optimum Tools. You should have access to it through the POC documents. And that's me. So Dean, go ahead, Dean.
Hello. So you see on the agenda there, it says moving forward form. Being the beginning of a new year, we'd like to get some feedback from the POCs and try and figure out the best ways for us to move forward, make any changes that might be beneficial, get some information that maybe we didn't have, and go from there. So does anybody have any questions on that?
Did you share the link to the form?
I didn't share a link to the forum, but the link is in the agenda.
It's hyperlinked there, folks. You can take it from there.
There it is in the chat here.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so we really would appreciate some feedback in these areas as well, you know, because if we don't get feedback from you, then we don't know if we're going in the right direction, trying to organize and facilitate tools or whatever, or meetings or whatever. So, you know, we need you to help us to help you. That makes sense.
You know, I'm not a POC, so I'm not going to fill out that form. But I would like to give you guys just some food for thought. Right now we're organized in Skype, in Facebook, perhaps some other places. And then I know you guys use HOs, but you're not really organized in them. They're kind of satellite service. But you know, just thinking of Skype, I'm connected to you guys through Skype. I'm not connected to you guys through anything else. I don't have the means to monitor how you guys are doing in Facebook, you know, because there it's spread out over all of these different groups and pages. Skype is a one-stop shop, one place to connect to all, and that works quite well for that particular need. But I also want to point out that Skype is not only for connecting with you folks. Skype is it's what we have used over years to connect to many different teams and groups and people and et cetera, et cetera. And so what I'm looking to just, give you some food for thought is that if you decide, if you arrive at a decision to abandon Skype completely, you're also going to be disconnecting yourself from a lot of those other connections that you have now. And I don't really see all of the global teams, the local teams, the specialty teams, all moving into the same stuff with you. I don't really have, this is not a prepared speech, so I'm kind of stumbling over my words here, but my point is that you want to make sure that whatever it is that you arrive at satisfies all, or at least most of your needs, that it's not just a jump for the sake of jumping to something else. Don't go for just the shiny new car because it's shiny and new. It has to solve the challenges that you guys are putting in front of yourselves. If Skype is no longer working for you, fine. But make sure that what you do settle on doesn't disconnect you from the rest of all of this. I think it's very, very important. It's one of the reasons why, like just for example, the development of LTI was done over a long period of time. There was a lot of experimenting. We tried Trello. Didn't work for us. It didn't satisfy enough of the must-have needs. We tried many other things. I'm not trying to pick on Trello there. I'm just trying to give you an idea. We really dug into all of the different tools that we were testing to see, is this going to satisfy enough of our needs where it actually makes sense with all emotion removed from it? And I'm very, very strongly suggesting that you folks do the same. Treat this very seriously. Don't just jump on something because it's new and kind of neat and, you know what I mean? Do your due diligence and make sure that whatever you select is really going to satisfy the needs. And with that, I'm being paid, so I'll be back.
Very wise words, Ray. Thank you very much for that. I had actually thought of the fact that I've got other contacts on Skype that aren't TVP. My daughter, my son, and so on and so forth. So I don't really want to have another platform. But I doubt they will move over to Slack or Discord or whatever. But what Ray says is what is most important for us working wise, Now, the AEC team, the team that's designing the Center for Resource Management, they are already using Slack. So we've got information there on the web, on the Skype chat and on Facebook as to what these platforms are. You can look them up on internet and so on, and check them out and give us some feedback, please. Danny, you were speaking at one point about the possibility of contacting with people in the global teams that might know about, I can't remember what they were called, those images that you sent us.
Yes, and I initiated communication with Ray. We still have to talk about it.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
Sorry, is it any better?
Not yet.
Okay, well, listen, don't worry. You can mention it in the Skype chat. Yeah, or send a message here or send a message in Skype, because eventually the messages in here do get lost. So if you put it into the Skype chat, we can keep it.
The only problem with Skype, if I use it with individuals, it is good. I can follow the message that I'm doing with an individual. But if it's a discussion of some 40 people, man, it's confusing. You don't know which message is connected with which one. Let's say something keeps you busy just for 2-3 days and you try to come back and catch up on it. It's such a feat. Messaging systems that don't have threads, they are a nightmare to follow. So I don't know whether the new platform that we are going to, I know we use Slack for business, but we don't use it for groups. Usually it's a one-on-one messaging between team members. I find that the practice of discussing as a group on a platform that doesn't have threads very confusing and difficult to follow and to keep up with if you have a whole lot of other things to do.
Okay, that's a very interesting point of view there to be taken into account as well, definitely. But remember, Bolalang, that we do have the two chats. You know, we've got the one that's just the announcements. So if you're finding the conversation is too fills up too much, then do look for the lines of icons in the announcements chat, because then at least you will get the information that we want everybody to know. You know what I mean? When we put a line of smileys or a line of whatever's little emojis, and that the idea of that is to help as well. Have you tried Slack?
I do use Slack for business.
And what do you think about it? Is it comfortable?
For what we are using it for, it is fine.
Okay.
It's communicating with team members, but usually we don't have messages that pile up and you get into the message and you find that there are 60 messages. That can throw you off balance, you know.
Yeah, I know. Imagine for poor Sasha when he came back after 6 months or so that he'd hardly been able to be around. It's Slack, Jacob, SLACK. It's thank you, Ray. Okay, I think Dean still has something else on the agenda to bring up, because we can continue the conversation about platforms in Skype and on Facebook. Dean has something else to bring up.
Yeah, okay. So I just shared a link to the social media unification spreadsheet. So I was going through all of the Facebook pages and groups for TVP support, as well as the YouTubes and Twitters and Google Pluses and all those on a weekly basis. But I decided to cut it back to monthly because weekly wasn't giving me any more of an idea than I thought it would. So I went to monthly, and it still shows me, you know, pretty much everything I need to see. Plus, there's no little dips and valleys. It's all pretty easy for me to go and keep track of and get a better idea of how a page or a group is doing. So there are, you know, it's tough. It's tough checking these pages all the time and watching them die or fizzle out. And I see some teams are good in their group, not so great on their page. Some teams are great on their page, not so good on their group. Some are good at both. Some are not good at both. Some are shitty. So it's really important that we keep these pages and groups and other social media accounts active and relevant. And it's also really important that we keep them professional and unified with the rest of the support team and with you know, in line with what TVP and Roxanne want us to do as far as you know, TVP's aims and proposals, their image, all this other stuff. We have to work hard at that, and it's important. make sure that we're not missing any messages in the inboxes on the pages. I've seen some go for a month or two without being addressed. That's really not acceptable. And I know that life does jump on us from time and again, and we miss some time. But let us know if you're unable to manage your page or your group or your email or whatever it is. Just at least so that we know. It's possible that we may be having a new Facebook banner, cover photo, whatever you want to call it, for the groups and pages, ready to go for March 1st, if not possibly April. But we'll let you know as soon as we know, and so you guys can get your translations done and all that jazz. And other than that, I got nothing.
Okay, thanks, Dean. Yes, it is so important that we maintain the Facebooks active. And if you're finding it a chore to post something every week, then schedule, look into how to schedule. If you're not sure how to do it, I'll do a hangout with a screen share and show you, because it's actually quite easy to do. And it saves so much time. You can program for the whole month and then it's done, and you can concentrate on other things. So it is so important to keep the Facebook alive, try and provoke conversations, share interesting material and so on. Otherwise, people are going to think, well, this is crap. So give it some, where I come from, we say, give it some welly, give it some energy, go at it with a bit more. It's such an important tool we have, and it doesn't cost us any money. So let's take advantage of it. Okay, Bobby, my sweetheart, go ahead. You want to bring about the yellow vests?
Hello, yeah, thank you. It's good to hear everyone again. Now, I'm sure all of you have noticed by now, but there are these massive protests taking place in France, and they're also leaking out to other places, because right here in the United States, I've been looking at the pages of the Yellow Vest movement, and it looks like there are some things happening that are being planned, where people will go out and protest. So it's seeming like this is going to be a pretty big thing here in the United States, and probably in other countries in Europe, except, aside from France. So not a call to action or anything, but I believe that we have to figure out a way to maybe outreach this yellow vest movement that's going on right now. Propose some solution to just propose to them just the idea that there is another possibility out there.
I totally agree. If you have the possibility, if there's going to be a demonstration in your city or relatively close to you, and you want to go along with a TVP banner, just peacefully walking along, don't get involved in any mess, obviously, just peacefully along. Or if you've got the opportunity to maybe set up a table with some information, sure. You don't expect to get 50 people come and join your team, but if you can get some information out, but think that they will be very focused on what they already believe, and they're going very convinced about what they believe. So you'll be planting seeds more than looking for people who are going to jump on board and help. But definitely, I'd say go for it. Where I am, as far as I know, there aren't any. But if there were, I might go.
Activated. Yeah, I agree. Not really. There is nothing going on where I am now in Las Vegas. But it looks like this movement is just sort of starting up in the United States. There has been no on-street activity. There has been no organizing done yet, and yeah, I agree. Like, not if we do approach, we should not approach with the intention of converting people, but instead just be there and just show, maybe talk about these ideas, but don't go too far forward. But yeah, just want to throw that out there. Obviously, if there's anything going on in Las Vegas, I'll be there, but that's where I am at the moment. The first of these protests, if they occur, will probably take place somewhere in the East Coast, like in Washington, D.C. But again, just something to aware of, and that it might happen near one of you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, when the Arab Spring and then the protests in Spain, I can't remember what they called them now, the the discontent ones or something like that. It was. There was a huge gathering here in on the island. There was quite an important movement here on the island. So once it had calmed down a little bit, I went over to where they were meeting on a daily basis in one of the main squares in the capital. And they'd got books and tables and all this sort of stuff, and they'd taken over a building. They were occupying a building and what have you. And I went to talk to the organisers and organised to give a talk to show Paradise for Oblivion and to give a talk. Unfortunately, when the talk actually came to happen, they had no stage for me to stand on and no sound equipment. So it was an absolute disaster. But if you've got that opportunity, once the initial excitement or that emotion has gone from the actual protest march, meet up with them afterwards and talk with them in a more calm environment, and you possibly get the chance to do a screening or something. That would be my advice. But yeah, definitely go for it.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess another thing here in Nevada, I found, and I already talked to you about this on Skype, but I have found another individual here who I met last month who's very interested in the project, and who will be joining me here, and together we'll see about organizing some things in university and so.
Awesome, lovely news. The more to help, the more it becomes so much easier when you've got somebody to help you. When you're on your own as a point of contact, it feels like the whole world is on your shoulders sometimes. But when you've got even just one person that you can talk with and be in contact with and throw ideas against and so on, it's so important. Okay, guys, well, that's it for today. And have we really only been an hour talking? It seems like a lot more. We've talked about a lot of very interesting stuff, I feel. Has anybody got anything at all that they want to bring to the table before we stop the recording?
Me.
Go ahead.
Well, I guess I go first, then you will. And I just wanted to mention, I guess this will be an update, although late. I didn't mention it because I thought I had mentioned it in December, but I didn't. I met up with a woman here in my city, my own city, that is interested in making an event. I talked about this with some POCs already before, but just for the monthly update. This woman wants to make an event, well, not specifically about TVP, but it's an event where she is planning to invite many people internationally. The government is supposedly gonna give her the resources to invite those people. One of the people she plans to invite is Roxanne, and the event is planned to be on September, but I haven't. This some information that I got in December, a month ago, so I still need to speak about that with her, and over the months, I guess I can let you know how that's going on. That's one of the things that I mentioned, that there's a lot of things that I need to do here in the country, in Mexico, where I'm from, to spread the message about TVP. That, well, when some stuff get done, maybe I can put focus on that again.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to hearing more about that event. I've known about it already because you and I have talked about it, but it'll be interesting for everybody to see how it grows. Okay, guys, I'm going to turn off the recording then. Next month will be... Next month will be the 17th, Sunday the 17th of February, and it will be the 02 UTC time, okay? Don't forget. So I won't be there. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning for me. So thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for all you do. And let's give 2019 a kick in the ass and get TVP better known around there.
Bye.